Coming up, the sun has come out at Trinity University. Student suggestions on how you can make the most out of the lovely weather.
And changes to the student activity fee, what this means for you, and how SGA is helping student groups adapt to the new plan.
Stick around to find out about all this and more right now on Newswave. Welcome back to Newswave. Today is Friday, February 28th, which means spring is right around the corner.
And in the meantime, we hope that midterms have been treating y'all well. And if you've been trapped in the library for the past few weeks, we've got what you've missed.
As always, I'm Luke McCauley.
And I'm Cynthia Morales.
Trinity University will be building the student activity fee into its general tuition. This will allow Trinity's Student Government Association, also known as SGA, to have zero carryover, unlike years past. Instead, SGA will receive a fixed annual allocation of $750,000, slightly more than it would have received based on enrollment. While these new changes might be an adjustment, they come with benefits. SGA believes this fixed cost will allow for more consistency in budgeting. SGA President Joel Ariola had this to say about the change in funding. Quote, "We've already been working to be a little more consistent with how we are funding and making sure we are funding the essential. But we are really encouraging students and groups to do fundraising or look at the funds they already have in their accounts for putting on events." End quote. While the new plan might provide more consistency, there is still the need to plan around the reduction of available funds from the past few years. Joel Ariola remains committed to supporting university-sponsored organizations while helping them explore alternative funding sources to continue making an impact. In more campus news, as midterm season ramps up here at Trinity, we spoke with Trinity students how they manage stress in their coursework during this busy time of year.
Midterm season is finally here, and to many students, it can be a pretty stressful time. From juggling exams and papers to just everyday tasks to deal with, it is important to be prepared for anything and everything. I asked some Tigers around campus to see if they had any tips and tricks for students during this time.
I would say during midterm season, you should definitely take time for yourself, take care of yourself during midterms because a lot of people forget to do that. So study, but also take care of yourself.
For midterms, I would honestly just try my best to form study groups and start studying as early as possible. Personally, I like separating the content and breaking it down based on whatever you learned and just study little by little over a certain period of time so you're not cramming in the end. And yeah.
Definitely for midterms, I would say don't procrastinate. It's important to take a brain break and just walk around, get some coffee, and make sure to email your professors if you have any question, and I would say also attend office hours.
Remember, it is important to study efficiently and to also take care of yourself during the stressful season. From all of us at Newswave and Tiger TV, good luck on your midterms and stay positive. This is Danny Wynn, Newswave 14, reporting.
Want to explore the outdoors in San Antonio, but not sure where to start? Trinity students have shared their best tips on how to embrace nature. Senior Jake Borowski highlights the mental health benefits of getting outside, even for short walks. He says, quote, "Sometimes I'm like, why do I feel so awful? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I've been inside for 3 days. I better go outside," end quote. Outdoor recreation OREC trip leader Noah Moore says every season offers unique outdoor opportunities. From walking and sightseeing, Borowski recommends Brackenridge Park, Phil Hardberger Park, and the San Antonio Botanical Garden. Rock climbers can check out Medicine Wall, while bikers enjoy the Mission Hike and bike trails. For those looking for group adventures, Moore suggests signing up for OREC trips, which include activities like wakeboarding and horseback riding. She adds that beginners are always welcome, saying, quote, "If you're nervous, feel free to email us and we'll have a conversation and just be there for you," end quote. If If you're interested in joining an OREC trip, check out their Instagram at live2rec for more details.
In a heartwarming tradition at Trinity University, Chaplain Alex Cerna-Wallander, an alumnus of the classes of 2008 and 2009, spreads joy by handing out clementines to students across campus. Chaplain Alex carries clementines with him regularly, cherishing the brief interactions they foster. He remarks, quote, "I carry clementines on me at most times, and the opportunities they create to pause for just a moment and be grateful for the person before me is always a gift," end quote. This practice draws inspiration from the Tangerine Meditation by Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh and the origin story of the clementine by Brother Marie Clement, who developed the clementine variety to provide children with an easy-to-eat fruit. Chaplain Alex hopes this gesture encourages others to create small moments of joy and care within their communities, as the origin of the clementine is an invitation to think about how we use our gifts and interests to care well for those around us.
Still coming up, we've got an inside look at new speeding camera technology, a Whataburger pop-up art museum, and other news from across the state of Texas. Stick around and we'll be right back in 50 seconds.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome back to Newswave. At least 300 drivers who were speeding on US 281 have now received citations due to new speeding cameras placed along the highway. According to the San Antonio Express News, the cameras are able to scan 5 lanes of traffic to identify speeding vehicles, and then take a photo of the driver's face and license plate. This allows the government to send drivers tickets in the mail once they have been identified, meaning that just because you didn't get pulled over, it doesn't mean you're in the clear. It should be noted that cameras only take photos of drivers who are well above the speed limit. While 4,000 drivers have been identified as speeding, less than 400 have received a citation.
A San Antonio-based Whataburger will debut a digital fan art museum at Austin's South by Southwest Festival in a tribute to its loyal diners. The Whataburger Museum of Art will make its real-life debut at Austin's Wanderlust Wine Company and be open to both the public and South by Southwest badge holders. The Whataburger experience will feature a playful diner mugshot wall, a tribute to the long-standing Texas tradition of sneaking away with the restaurant's iconic numbered tents. Guests can also enjoy an interactive room where they'll have the chance to decorate a restaurant space with themed stickers, adding their creative touch to the experience. The pop-up will be open Friday, March 8th and Saturday, March 9th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with a Whataburger truck on Saturday offering samples of the Monterey Melt.
Now for what to expect weather-wise the last week before spring. Newswave Chief Meteorologist Luke Morden has your weekly weather update.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's weather segment. I hope you all had a great week and are ready for the weekend. This week's weather was a sharp contrast to the frigid temps we had last week and was a welcome sight for many. The past few days have been nearly perfect with highs in the 70s and lows in the 40s and 50s under mostly sunny skies. This weekend looks to be very pleasant as well, with partly to mostly sunny skies and highs in the mid-70s and the lows in the upper 50s and 60s. So go out there and enjoy the beautiful first weekend of March. This beginning of next week will be a bit warmer with highs creeping into the low 80s. We could also see a bit more cloud cover and maybe a few rain showers. However, by Wednesday, the gorgeous weather looks to return with sunny skies and highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. This is the time of year where you really need to get out and soak in the great weather because March officially marks the start of spring, which means warmer temperatures are on the horizon. As this is the last broadcast before spring break, I wanted to briefly mention that there will be a total lunar eclipse over the break. On Friday, March 13th, if you're willing to stay up until around 2 a.m., you will see the moon turn a reddish color due to the Earth's shadow being cast on the moon. I know 2 a.m. is not a great time, but hey, at least you don't have to get up for class the next morning. It's a really cool sight to see, and I would recommend you see it if the skies are clear. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for me. I hope you all have a great weekend and a great spring break. Best of luck on any midterms due next week, and I will see you after the break. Take care.
Well, measles cases in West Texas have risen to 124, causing the state's largest outbreak in 30 years. The outbreak has now spread to Dawson, Ector, Gaines, Lubbock, Lynn, Terry, and Yoakum counties. 5 out of the 124 cases were vaccinated, and 18 cases have been hospitalized. As new cases were reported in Dallam and Martin counties, Gaines remains the county with the most, increasing to 80 patients. In addition to warning surrounding counties, the Texas Department of State with the most cases increasing to 80 patients. In addition to the warning surrounding counties, the Texas Department of State Health Services has also altered Central Texas communities, including New Braunfels, San Marcos, and San Antonio. Measles is highly contagious, as 90% of unvaccinated people will contract the disease if exposed. People with measles are contagious for 4 days before they show symptoms, and the virus can stay in the air for 2 hours, making daycares, hospitals, and schools high-risk areas. The best way to prevent getting infected is to receive or ensure you have the MMR vaccine. According to the CDC, the MMR vaccine is considered extremely safe and is 97% effective in preventing measles. As this outbreak continues, we at Newswave will keep you updated about this news.
Up ahead, we've got headlines and updates from across the country. For more national news, Newswave will be right back after this short message.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home.
Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
In more national news, federal employees are seeking guidance on how to reply to a recent Elon Musk directed email. On Saturday, several federal agencies received an email from the Office of Personnel Management demanding that employees detail their weekly accomplishments. Agencies who received the email include FEMA, the IRS, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the CDC, and the Department of Energy. Federal intelligence agencies, including the Pentagon and the FBI, have instructed civilian employees to wait for legal guidance and refrain from answering the email. According to the ABC News, the OPM email with the subject line, quote, "What did you do last week?" was sent to employees with a deadline of 11:59 p.m. on Monday. While many federal employees ignored the deadline, Mr. Musk wrote in a tweet that the deadline to respond would be extended by that, quote, failure to respond a second time will result in termination, end quote.
This past weekend, a security concern diverted an American Airlines flight from New York City to New Delhi to Rome. Flight 292 departed from John F. Kennedy International Airport and was en route over the Caspian Sea when the crew was made aware of some critical information. As a precaution, the plane carrying 199 passengers and 15 crew members made an abrupt U-turn and headed towards Rome on Sunday. Passenger Narija Chopra told CBS News, quote, "The captain alerted the plane that they needed to turn around about 3 hours before they were supposed to land in Delhi because of a change in security status, but with no clear explanation as to why. Upon arrival, law enforcement officials conducted thorough inspections and cleared the aircraft for continued service. The threat was later determined to be non-credible. However, passengers underwent additional security screenings. American Airlines emphasized that safety and security are their top priorities and apologized for the inconvenience, with the flight scheduled to resume to New Delhi a day later."
As the course load steps up here at Trinity, so do our sports teams. For more on how the Tigers are navigating the regular season, Newswave sports editor Caleb Reed has your weekly sports update.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to sports. We've got a bit to cover this weekend, so let's go ahead and jump right in. First off, men's and women's basketball finished their regular season on the road last weekend, playing at St. Thomas on Friday and then going up to finish the season at Colorado. The Tigers lost both outings in Houston, but the men won their season finale with an 83-76 final score. The Trinity women struggled in both outings to close the year, losing 63-79 against St. Thomas and 52-69 against Colorado College, but they still have work to do. Both teams will now be playing up in Irving for the SCAC Championship Tournament, with the tournament winner earning an automatic berth into the NCAA playoffs later on this spring. Speaking of spring, it was a beautiful home opener for Trinity softball after a 2-day delay that was forced by rain. The Tigers opened the season against the nationally ranked TOU Bulldogs and put up a great fight in the first game, but ultimately fell in extra innings by a 4-6 final score. The second game of the day wasn't as close as Trinity fell 5-0, but there were plenty of chances that will make sure to give Trinity fans optimism coming into the season ahead. The Tigers now go on a pretty busy weekend ahead, with 1 game tonight and 2 tomorrow against the University of Dallas in conference play. That's not all, though, as Trinity will have 2 more non-conference series in the week ahead. First, they will play a 2-game series against Howard Payne University on Sunday, and then another 2-game series against Carnegie Mellon University on Wednesday, as the Tartans take a 10-game, 6-day road trip through Texas for their season opener. That's all from me, so until next time, have a wonderful spring break, and go Tigers!
The United States Agency for International Development, USAID, is forcing thousands of workers on leave following a court decision that allows the Trump administration to remove staff deemed unnecessary. An estimated 4,200 out of 10,000 USAID employees will be placed on administrative leave by Sunday, including many overseas workers. This is yet another of the Department of Government Efficiency's effort to cut costs as President Trump allegedly intends to merge USAID into the State Department, according to U.S. officials. USAID Acting Chief of Staff Joel Borkert says members of Secretary of State Planning staff Marcus Thornton are coordinating efforts to facilitate safe return home for overseas personnel and work around many logistical problems alongside the USAID's coordination support team. USAID has been offering help to many nations since its introduction in 1961, but its future is now less certain than ever before.
To finish up, we've got an update on Pope Francis's battle with pneumonia and results from Germany's national elections. All this and more when Newswave returns.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Pope Francis was admitted into the hospital on Valentine's Day and has been hospitalized for over a week and is now showing signs of slight improvement with his mild kidney issues and is continuing treatments for pneumonia. On the bright side, he seems to be in good spirits despite his condition. During Pope Francis's time in the hospital, he has remained in contact with many people, including a visit of 2 senior Vatican officials, Cardinal Parolin and Archbishop Penapara, and a call with the parish priest of Gaza. He is said to have a, quote, mild renal failure, which is currently under control, end quote. Pneumonia can lead to a condition called sepsis, which can affect other organs, including the kidneys, which is what the Pope is facing. However, this is not the first time respiratory infections have happened to the Pope, as he suffered many accounts as a child and has a vulnerability to respiratory infections. During 12 years of papacy, for only the 3rd time during this duration, the Pope was not able to deliver the weekly English prayer on Sunday.
This week, Israel announced that they are delaying the release of more than 600 Palestinian prisoners. These delays were caused by a conflict in negotiations between Israel and Hamas. On Saturday, 4 hostages were released: Tal Shoham, Omer Shentov, Aliyah Kohan, and Omer Wenkert. However, in what was supposed to be an exchange release of 620 Palestinian prisoners, Israel refused to cooperate. Hamas accused Israel of violating the agreement because of their delayed release of the prisoners. Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, accuses Hamas of repeated violations, including, quote, cynical use of hostages for propaganda purposes, end quote. Hamas official Izzat al-Qarashq did not take kindly to this claim, stating how this was a, quote, false claim and a flimsy argument, end quote, which led him to decide to postpone the release of the prisoners on Sunday morning. Netanyahu states that the official release of the prisoners won't be until the next handover of hostages by Hamas is guaranteed, without what he labels as the degrading ceremonies Hamas has already put on.
Earlier this week, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he is preparing to give up the presidency if he meant securing peace for Ukraine and a NATO membership. Zelensky said, quote, if to achieve peace, you really need to give me up my post if I'm ready, end quote. The war between Russia and Ukraine has lasted 3 years, and Ukraine has received offers from Europe and the United States that involve increased support for rare minerals from Russian-occupied territory in Ukraine. However, according to CBS News, none of these deals have guaranteed the end of the war or a spot in NATO for Ukraine. As the United Kingdom and France strengthen their opposition to Russia, with the UK imposing its most significant sanctions since the beginning of the war, the United States under President Trump has threatened to withdraw aid. This makes Ukraine's situation as uncertain as it's been for 3 years of war. As the war in Ukraine continues, Newswave will keep you updated with all of the latest developments.
Last week, Germany elected a new parliament following months of political deadlock. Friedrich Merz, leader of Germany's majority party, the Christian Democratic Union, or CDU, is set to become chancellor after securing roughly 28% of the vote. As votes were counted on Sunday night, Merz grabbed voter attention by saying that the United States seems indifferent to Europe's fate, questioning the future of NATO and urging his European counterparts to invest in their own defense. This past January, Merz struck Germans by partnering with the far-right AfD party on immigration measures in parliament. Although he has insisted that there was no direct collaboration with the AfD, Merz's election marks a shift to the right for traditionally centrist CDU. Merz was formerly an intra-party rival of longtime Chancellor Angela Merkel, who criticized Merz's immigration plan in a rare public intervention.
Sadly, that's all the time we got for today.
Best of luck this upcoming week, and thank you for sticking with us through this episode that we were doing in a different location. We hope you have a good spring break.
And Newswave will return on Friday, March 21st at our standard time at 3 o'clock p.m. Until then, I'm Luke McCauley.
And I'm Cynthia Morales. Have a great weekend.